All right, it's time for some midseason grades. How is your team faring so far? 6 games in, maybe a bye here or there. But more importantly than that, Kenton Gibbs is probably the harshest teacher. I'm coming in with trying to give grace, but we'll see who comes out on top.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Everybody, welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Each and every day, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you download, subscribe to the pod from anywhere that you tune in on the audio space, but also on YouTube. You can leave comments. You can talk to us because we certainly talk back. We love positive comments. Okay, a little bit of, you guys are so insane. We could take that, but talk about our mamas and all the things. Like, you ain't got to call insult our intelligence. We're not pretty all the time. Sometimes we're pretty brilliant. I was going to say, Kenton, how are we feeling?
Oh, I feel great. And I'll tell you this much. Candace is a better one than me because I don't care for your opinions. I've seen what makes you cheer. I don't care what makes you people boo. No, I'm just joking. Y'all always mean a ton to us. We always love getting your feedback. You know, good, bad, ugly, and different. Just keep it respectful now. Keep it between the lines and we'll be all right.
Well, check clears on the first, so I'm really good either way. Today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50-plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com. That's JASEmedical.com. All right, Kenton, we've got a lot to discuss on today's show. We've already got the comments popping. Hey, y'all, it's time for some midseason grades. People are feeling good because, Louisville fans are loving us. Mm-hmm. FSU fans are hating us. Mm-hmm. Canes fans feel away. Everybody got something to say. But, boy, maybe they'll have an opinion after this one. I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. These are midterm grades, so you have the opportunity to pull them up.
Hello.
But we're going to tell you where you're at right now so that there's no confusion, so that nobody's looking around surprised. Well, where did that grade come from?
Yeah.
You'll know exactly why you have what you have. All right, let's do it.
And we'll get into some of these live comments at the end of the show, so throw them in as we're going. But let's talk about the power rankings grades. We're going to start with Louisville, since we gave the number one spot. Start with the top dog. Louisville. I said A, A strong. You've shown up. You've proven. You've done what you need to do. You're nice and 6-0. All of the things. Excited about it.
I'm going to go A+. They have looked phenomenal. And pretty much every week, with the exception of the NC State game, and even in that game, they found a way to win. Great teams. The teams that end up winning championships and all that and go to conference championships and whatnot, every game won't be pretty, but every game will end with you being the victor. And that's what Louisville's done so far. They found ways to win. They've won pretty. They've won ugly. They've won going away. They've won fighting, scrapping, clawing, and all that good stuff. For what their talent says that they are, to where they are, to where we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season, to where they are actually, A+. Got to give them an A+.
And what I think is great about Louisville is the fact that they've really capitalized on this transfer. Okay, yep. Transfer portal. I was trying to say portal fast. You know what I mean? I got excited. Mm-hmm. So the words started coming a little quickly. Okay. Mm-hmm. But how Miami sort of struggled with how many people they had to overhaul their roster and things. It seems that Louisville came in and figured it out quickly. And I think that's very much credit to Brom and his philosophies and really just buying into the culture of Louisville.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That Brown family, they are Louisville through and through. If your last name is Brown and you don't go to Louisville, I feel like you get excommunicated from the family. But with that being said, they've done their thing. They've done their thing. We on this show, again, we will tell you when we're wrong and when we're right. And we were wrong about Brown. We were wrong about this team. They have shown up in a way that we did not expect early this season. Wrong. But again, this is midterm now. Yeah, we were. You saw them going 6-0. You saw them going 6-0. And not only 6-0, you saw 6-0 with their back averaging nearly 10 yards a carry. Come on.
I don't know if we were wrong, but I don't know that we were spot on, feeling they're going to be this way, one way or the other.
I don't think that we saw Louisville being a conference power this year. Like,
100%.
I think we can agree to that. We weren't coming in this season.
But I also think that we just didn't know. And I think that's fair to say. Like, we were just sort of like, I don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, cool. All right. Next person on the list. I'm doing a power rankings list. So please, everyone just relax. FSU. Kenton, what'd you give them?
I gave them an A. They are meeting expectations, but I will say this, right? That's a really solid team. And a lot of people thought, based on what we did in the power rankings, that I wouldn't give them a good grade or whatever the case may be. Stop it. Get some help. They're undefeated. They've looked good in the vast majority of their games. I mean, what else do you want from the team? They also have won ugly. They've won pretty. They've beaten some good teams so far this year. I give them their props. I give them all their love. So, that's a good team. They're playing solid football. Norvell's got them coached up well. Travis is making good decisions with the ball. Keon Coleman is making it easy for him to make good decisions. Johnny Wilson, we hope he gets well. We hope that he's back on the field soon. We know what he's about. The dynamic play, he's going to make it every time. Now, the curl route, we got to work on it, but we get the point. That is a team. They can do a little bit of everything. Jared Verse coming off the edge, absolute animal, absolute monster. That's a good team. Hey.
I give them an A- because I still can't let go of that Boston College hiccup. Right? Because I think it's great that they won, but damn it if you almost didn't blow it against a team like Boston College. But more than that, I think what's better about Norvell and his program is you are figuring out ways to win against the teams you're supposed to win against. You have a great win against LSU, all the things. But I still feel like it's got to give that man an ulcer watching that thing sometimes, how they are able to sort of almost give it away. Right. But then sort of circle back and the other team either pisses down their leg or what have you. So A-, still solid, very much passing grade. Happy that they're in the college football playoff conversation as we expected them to be. This only helps either they're going to stay or go or whatever they decide to do in terms of being in our conference. But it ultimately makes the ACC look better because while they're here, let's celebrate them.
Absolutely. All
right. Let's talk about North Carolina, number 3 in our power rankings this week. What'd you give them?
A-. They're undefeated on the season. They looked great against Syracuse. I still have my doubts because
why?
Drake can't look completely human and normal and this defense not show up at other times as well. Like you can't have both of those and have me give you a full A. Don't get me wrong. Drake is trending in the right direction. He's looking better. He's been playing better. I still that defense has shown this year. You can't tell me that you have a hard time stopping App State, and I'm going to sit here and say, hey, this is a team I'm going to give an A+ for what they got.
I don't think they deserve an A+, but they deserve an A.
An A- is basically an A.
No, it's not. And let me tell you why. A- is like, you're close to B+, and you're not really doing what I need you to do. And this defense might be bending, but they don't break. And what we have seen from UNC's defense the past couple of years, Sam Howell's fighting for his life. You have got to give a little more credit to the Carolina Tar Heels for being undefeated. But more importantly than that, riding on the wave of Drake May when everyone said, listen, he has to have this performance, and if defense can figure it out, that'd be a nice little happy marriage. And they're doing that.
But the thing is, has the defense figured it out?
How not?
Here's my question. I talk all the time about the teams that you've played mean a lot. What offense have they played this year that you look at and say, oh, that's a scary offense? Who?
Minnesota.
You look at Stop playing with me. Stop playing. South
Carolina.
South Carolina's offense is scary to people with the last name Beamer because they know that they're going to have to move pretty soon because of what they're doing over there. That offense is scary. That offense that gave up more sacks than FAMU against this.
So you're saying the defense still hasn't proven it for you yet?
No, not at all. No.
It's just I don't know. I'm agreeing a little bit with some of our live commenters here that say that your NC State bias is showing just a tad.
Don't worry. When NC State's grade comes up, I'm sure that a lot of y'all will say, "Oh, I guess that bias is no longer there." Don't worry. I've had my fair share of NC State fans say I'm not loyal to the program, so it's all right with me. I'm okay.
Come on, not this one. All right, let's talk about Jase Medical. If you have not yet, please get in on the action with the the fact that there are beautiful opportunities to go online, fill out a form, and get a prescription of life-saving medication right to your door. The Jase case gives you a peace of mind so that you are not just hoping that you have access to medication in an emergency. Jase Medical makes sure you have the medication in hand. That's why Jase Medical is simple. Get $20 off on these life-saving antibiotics today from Jase Medical by using my code LOCKEDON at checkout at jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. Kenton and I rocking and rolling, talking through a lot of good things here. Mid-season grades, if you will. Talked about top three, all sitting pretty with some A's and A minuses and A pluses in between. Let's talk about Duke.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Duke a B plus. I'm gonna give Duke a B plus. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say offline?
A B. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
B plus. You can change. Feel free.
You know what? I'll stick with. Actually, I'm gonna stick with the B plus. I'm gonna stick with the B plus because they're playing really good football. You know, it's really unfortunate, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna factor in an injury into your grade. So Riley Leonard going down is not gonna factor into this grade. They're playing really, really good football against Notre Dame. The reality is they kind of pissed down their leg there. You had them beat. There was what was it, 4th and 17? You cannot allow a team to convert that. You can't allow that. I'm sorry to tell you. You had that team beat. And I promise you'll see on another grade how badly pissing down your leg hurts you in these here grades. But they had them beat. They had them on the ropes. It was their moment. It was Duke's moment to officially have that, hey, we did what we need to do. And so, you know, giving up that long run by Hartman, then giving up that long run by Estime, you know, I give them a B.
I give them an A minus because I think that what Duke football has been known to be as a laughingstock, a joke, something that people just write off as an easy dub, the fact that that's not even in consideration after these last two Elko era years, like you have to give credit where it's due. What?
We got Peninsula P back in the chat. Peninsula P, great to see you, brother. Great to see you. Oh my God. But I 100%, I agree with you there. But for me, the grades are based on what I thought you were going to be this year against what you are, right? So C to me is like you're slightly underperforming. B to me is like you're at that level, maybe a little better, and anything below that.
Kenton, you didn't think Duke was going to do much. Don't do that. You did not.
I said at the level, maybe a little better. They're a little better than I thought they were going to be. Clemson looks like hot dookie, and that's their best win. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Okay. All right. No, I'll let you have it. Clemson. Let's talk about Clemson. Speaking of hot dookie. Go ahead and tell what you graded them.
See, now you're making me nervous, and now I forgot what I gave them off air, but I'm going to say a C minus. I'm going to say a C minus. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to say, you know, sometimes my CTE get to acting up. 17 years of football ain't great for the memory, but I'm going to give them boys a C minus because what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
They're winning.
And honestly, I wanted to go lower than C minus because this is terrible. What I'm seeing from this team is embarrassing, if you will. You have a back average of 6 yards a carry, and you decide to throw a bubble screen on 3rd and 1. What are you doing? You can barely fighting for your life against Wake Forest, a Wake Forest team that ain't particularly all that good. What are we doing? Y'all are a team right now that lacks identity. You all lack dynamic playmakers. You all lack the ability to get the ball to the playmakers if you even have any. And so, with that being said, I'm very disappointed in this Clemson team as a whole. However, they do have a revelation by the name of Xavier Thomas, who's coming on late. He looks great as of late. He's looking really good. I'm proud of him. Tyler Davis, come along to the party, brother. They need you. They need you to show up big time to the party. With that being said, I give this team C minus.
I give them a B because they're winning beyond the Duke one and the FSU one. But, you know, they're figuring it out slowly but surely. But I could drop them down to a B minus only because DJ was supposed to be the biggest problem that ever walked through Clemson's door. DJ was supposed to be the reason why they couldn't make them sing shake. They couldn't open up the playbook. They couldn't execute and all the things.
Yep.
I just find it very ironic that DJ is not the problem, was never the problem whatsoever. And, God don't like ugly.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think that DJ was the problem, but it's like if you dead broke, right? And you got your rent due, your car note due, your car insurance due, your Netflix due. Your Netflix being due is not the biggest problem, but it's still a problem. You don't want your quarterback to be on that side. You want your quarterback to be that friend that randomly cash apps you $200. Like, hey, I know you're going through it. Here you go, brother. But with that being said, DJ wasn't that for that team. But you're right, because everybody thought Kate was going to be the savior and all that good stuff. And lo and behold, what was it? 12 points or 17 points against Wake Forest? 17. Yeah.
Well, they thought it was going to be like a Trevor Lawrence type situation, come in and save the day and all the things. But you know what? I'm just keep that right there. All that to say, C-, B-, we keep things rocking. All right, Georgia Tech. Go ahead, tell the people.
I gave Georgia Tech a C+, I believe. C+?
A B-.
B-. Okay, I knew it was C+, B- in that area. Georgia Tech has had moments where they flashed really well. The first 3.5 quarters against Louisville flashed. I was so ready to get onto the Locked On ACC account and victory lap and tell everybody, oh, I told you all about Key and the boys. And then they forgot how to play football. They
didn't forget how to play football. I gave them a C+. They just forgot that they are still Georgia Tech and they ain't nobody scared of them yet for real.
Here's the biggest reason why they have this grade. Overlooking a team. You overlook Bowling Green. How does a team?
He want that comment back. Don't hold him on that comment, child.
Nobody on that team has a bowl ring. Nobody. I'm not talking about a conference championship. None of y'all have. Actually, forget a bowl ring. None of y'all have a bowl appearance. None of you have.
Bowl is a touchy word right now for Georgia Tech. Bowling Green.
I don't give a damn. Them boys ain't seen the bowl game. They ain't seen the hot dog bowl. They ain't seen the Cheez-It bowl. They ain't seen the we outside tonight bowl. They ain't seen nothing. They ain't even seen the.
They wasn't seeing Bowling Green either. So here you are.
Exactly. So with that being said, I'm telling you this very, very simply. Mm-hmm. This is a team that I wish I could give them a higher grade. I really do. But that Bowling Green game knocked them down a lot. However, beating Miami helped them. Thanks to Mario. Way to go, Mario. Way to help him out. I know that these are boys. And you say, hey, Key's a good guy. I'm an offensive line guy. He's an offensive line guy. Let me help him out. Good for you. But with that being said, that's why they have the grade they have.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Miami here.
Let's talk about it.
I gave them a strong B because still a top 25 team. Flew under the radar a little bit. You know what? Maybe it was good that they flew under the radar. Maybe we missed all the kneeling. Maybe we missed a couple of the play-by-plays when it came to Tyler Van Dyke and sometimes his head-scratching moments. Maybe we've missed some of the time management mistakes from Mario. Say that 4 times fast. But they have figured out ways to win until they didn't, and we can move past a conference loss, can we not?
Yeah. But a conference loss in that way? No. I believe I gave him what, a C+, C-?
C-, D+.
C-, D+. Yeah, C-.
That's a tough grade for being 5-1.
I don't care that they're 5-1.
All right.
They have not beaten anybody. And beyond not beating anybody, the other part of this is the way in which you lost your one loss is so embarrassing. The way in which you lost that. Stop playing.
So you give him a midseason grade just on one game? That's harsh as heck.
Well, imagine this. You're a professor, right? We're professors right now, right? We got on our Dr. Cooper and Dr. Gibbs hats, right? We got those hats.
I should have worn my glasses today. Mm-hmm.
And so we have a presentation for midterm coming up, and they come in here and they lay an egg like what Miami did there, right? Their presentation looks flawless, and then they open up a tab that opens up a browser that is not supposed to be open in class, if you catch my drift.
I got you.
Does that not severely impact their grade?
Well, you went through an analogy that's distracting me. So go ahead, try it.
You get my point. You get my point. That impact. It was your last slide. Everything looked good. How did you do that? Where did you do that?
You can't unsee it. You can't unring the bell.
No.
Like in law school, when people talk about unringing the bell, you can't. Once you say something out, you can't help the jury not hear that again. So
once you refuse to nail, I mean, hey, listen, I know Colin Kaepernick is out of a job. I heard that he was writing the Jets, asking to come onto the practice squad. Brother, they need you in Coral Gables. They need you.
Oh, help the church, Lord. All right, PrizePicks. Let me tell you about it. Listen, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege using promo code LockedOnCollege for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and place your entry. Testing my skills on PrizePicks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. PrizePick is simple, really simple to play. I can make picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. All right. We're getting to these grades. We're halfway through. NC State is next on the docket.
I actually thought about it, and I actually have to go lower than what I originally said off air, because, I thought this thing through and I said, we got to keep this thing consistent. We got to keep this thing. And I said that it's about where you are against where I thought you were going to be. NC State, get this hot D+. Get this hot D+. Get this hot D+. You almost lost to UConn. Mm-hmm. You almost lost to a UVA team that is probably the worst Power 5 team in the nation right now. And then you get blown out by Notre Dame. And I know that game was closer than the box score appears, but guess what? Mm-hmm. Don't matter. The box score says what it said, baby. You got to live with that result at the end of the day. And then the most embarrassing part, this is the part that why they really earned this D+. Mm-hmm. You played an FCS team with Brennan Armstrong as your quarterback, and you put up less points than you did with MJ Morris as your quarterback against a team that's on a 9-game winning streak, or that was on a 9-game winning streak. What are y'all doing? David?
They're trying their best, Jennifer.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes your best ain't good enough. Your best ain't good enough.
But they're winning. C-. See that we had
D+. D+.
I gave them a C-. I feel like average at best. They're staying in the middle of the pack. They're not doing too much to elevate themselves. They're not doing too much to make them, like, the bar is not great, but look at who we're comparing them to in terms of our conference.
Yeah. There's
some ugly hitters up in here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And but the grade, I don't grade on the curve. My grades are based on what they based on. You got what I thought you were going to be coming into this thing. That's where you get graded at. What are you compared to that? You know what I mean? And they are sorely falling behind that. I don't care what Doran says about we had injuries and Devon Betty had a baby and da-da-da-da. Child, everybody had a baby. Everybody has babies. That's how the species continues. You have to do your job. You have to show up and do your job. And I know some people are going to say, Ken, you're sounding like somebody without a kid. Yeah, I do. And what about it? You show up and do your job. After I delivered my niece, I went to school that day and went to practice that day. You keep the life goes on.
Everybody ain't able, Kenton.
Everybody ain't able. And people who aren't able get D+. There you go. C's get degrees. D+ get you put out your major. All righty. Glad we learned that.
Let's talk about Syracuse, who I gave a B- because they kept winning. Mm-hmm. But the minus is on its way to a C.
Yeah.
If they can't figure out how to turn this thing around.
Yeah. And I believe I gave them what, a C-? C?
Yes.
Yeah, C-. No,
you gave them a B-.
Oh, I'm sorry, C-. Make that a C-. And let me tell you why. Because somebody in the comments brought this up, and I have to address this, right? Okay. The whole, Syracuse was averaging a lot of points per game. They scored 60 against Colgate, bro. That's what is pushing it up. They scored 40 against Western Michigan. Against Power 5 teams, they are 0-3 and have not put up more than 20 points.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
Hope that helps, babes. Hope that helps.
Kenton.
That's the reality that we're looking at here, right? Like, with all due respect, Syracuse played the island of Misfit Toys University, got a couple of wins, and now all of a sudden people are like, oh, this is a 4-0 team.
But sure. I mean, at what point can we give them credit for beating teams that they're supposed to be? Because like we said, everybody in this group ain't able, one.
Yeah.
But two, I think that it's a testament to where Dino always feels shaky about whether or not he's going to be here. They figure out ways to win, and they don't do it very well, but
right,
you know.
Right. And I apologize. I got one thing incorrect. They did score 35 against Purdue. But again, Purdue is a terrible Power 5 team right now. So the reality is 1-2 against Power 5 teams, not looking all that great on the season, trending in the wrong direction. In the last 2 games, they've averaged, I want to say, about 10 points or so, or 11 points. Stop it. It ain't going to get it done. Not on this show. Not on this show. You're not going to get it done. We don't believe you. You need more people, Dino.
Who do we believe in Wake Forest as we give these grades? I gave a B- because I think that they're doing the best they can with what they got.
Yeah. And you know what? Based on where I thought they would be coming into the season, I also have to change that grade to a B- as well.
We didn't believe much.
I didn't really see much for this team, and they've gotten what they're getting in surprising fashion, actually. Because again, when you think about Wake Forest, nobody thinks about defense. Nobody. You know what I mean? Even though they put Boogie Basham into the league a few years ago, even that defense wasn't great. He was good, but that defense was like, middle of the roadish. And now they're winning by defense. They're winning tough, nasty, ugly games. That's how they play now. That's who they are now, which is very interesting to see. But they're meeting expectations. Like, they're just about at what we thought they would be. And, you know, if C's get degrees, B's get even more than that. They makes you happy. So we'll put it there.
Let's talk about Boston College, because let's just get ugly with it.
Yeah. So somebody in the chat said F- earlier, and I'm going to say this. Boston College was on the F- track, baby. Now, granted, my very lovely co-host here, the ever so talented Miss Cooper, informed me that we couldn't give anybody an F- because that was a little too harsh. But Boston College has turned it on. Castellanos, he has showed up and showed out. I mean, that man put on his Sunday's best every single game. He said, listen, I know that the Eagles don't know which way to go. I'll make it easy. Follow me. Jump in this here knapsack. I'll carry you to where we got to go. It's crazy to think about. Boston College is what, 3-3 now?
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. That when you saw this team early in the season lose to NIU, if I would have told you they'd be 3-3 right now, you wouldn't believe me. And
I sure wouldn't. But I think Castellanos has been a pleasant surprise because he didn't start out as QB1 this season. So
absolutely.
Had we been really, we were high on Morstead.
Yeah. I thought that Morstead was going to be all right. I thought that he was going to figure it out and kind of work his way out. But you know what? This is a team that's on a 2-game winning streak right now. And granted, ain't against great teams, but they're trending in the right direction.
We've been calling for Hafley's job for a good minute now, and now we've quieted it down. I give them a D, but I give them a D+ because you need more people, just a few more.
My whole thing is, if I expected more from them, I would. They almost making me want to venture into the B- territory.
No,
they almost are.
No.
If I expected more from them, I would say like, hey, they belong in the F category, D category. But I expected them to be dog water. I expected them to be them in Virginia competing and fighting it out for who's gonna get last. And lo and behold, they put a little separation on that thing now. They put a little separation on it.
You actually had Virginia Tech as the one that was going to be fighting for dog water.
Ah, okay. Well, I thought it was going to be a 3-man race for the dog water. I thought it was
new term. I give Virginia Tech C-. They're not winning
Boston College.
Virginia Tech. I'm moving.
Oh, we're on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought we were still on.
You ain't running no show. You ain't running nobody's show over here.
Yeah, I don't run nothing but my mouth. That's it.
We all 15 of us see that.
Go ahead.
Virginia Tech gets a C- from me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they are doing just enough. As you said, we didn't expect a lot from them, but they've shown up, maybe because Pitt is just that bad, but winning conference games, we didn't exactly have that either. So
yeah,
we said 2 to 3 games, and they're right on track.
They've exceeded. I'm sorry, but they've exceeded. And with that in mind, again, I can only give grades based on the criteria that I put out, which is what I thought you were going to be to what you are now. And I did not see this team winning more than 2 to 3 games this season. They've already won 2, and they have multiple winnable games ahead of them. Like that Wake Forest game, probably going to be a dogfight. That Syracuse game, probably going to be a dogfight. Boston College, NC State, Virginia, there's not a single game on their schedule except Louisville where I'm like, all right, go ahead, pencil in the L. Every other game, I'm like, hey, Drones and Tootin, they got a shot. They got a shot. Those two can carry this team to a win. So I'm going to have to change my grade to them for a B.
Is Ollie out for the season? Because that was your guy before.
He was. I don't know what happened. But you know what? He's had injury problems everywhere he's been. And I put a lot of stock into him. Like, oh, he's going to stay healthy. He's got the best training staff he's had, and he's got a team where he's finally going to have some help. It's not just going to be the Ali Jennings show, which it hasn't been because he ain't been on the field all that much. But with that being said, I was expecting him to be a showstopper, which, it objectively just hasn't panned out in that way.
1,000%. All right, got a couple more here. It shouldn't take long. But Pitt, go ahead.
F. Peninsula P, I'm sorry this is your first episode back.
I'm trying to tell you.
Because we done asked for you before. We asked, where's Peninsula P? What's going on? And I'm sorry this is your first grade back, but F. Narduzzi, what you got going on, brother? And Phil Jacovic, Phil, I need you to look at me, bro.
Phil's not playing.
I need you to look at me, Phil. Stop calling people grown-ass men and U23 still playing against 18-year-olds. Stop.
I give them a D+ because they realized that Phil was not the way.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Good job on realizing Phil ain't the way, but y'all realized it a little too late. You realized it a little too late, okay? You're stuck with having a reality where Phil went out there and stunk it up so bad for so many games. I mean, if you look at what Pitt did in back-to-back games, every loss that they had got worse for how many straight games? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not an easy accomplishment. It's not easy to go from 6-point loss to 11-point loss to 2 17-point losses back-to-back, one of which coming against the Virginia Tech team that, again, we all thought was going to be the Commonwealth battle for who's the worst.
I 100% agree. But speaking of the worst, let's talk about Virginia.
Oh, that's an easy F. I mean, we didn't expect nothing from you, but for you all to have to come back and win against William and Mary, Tony. And honestly,
I give him a D- because they won a game. I don't want to fail anybody because I might be the mom who just believes in participation trophies, and everybody's trying. They suit up every week. They're giving their best, Jennifer.
You know what my family did with all of my trophies that everybody on the team got?
I understand.
They threw them things away. If it didn't have MVP, best of this, top this, it got thrown in the trash.
And we all see that and hear that from the show. And you can unpack that in therapy later. Now tell us why you got this F.
That's why I got the F. I'm not giving you a positive grade for beating William and Mary. What are we doing here?
A positive grade is a D-. They're still failing, like D-.
Absolutely not. They played James Madison. And what did I say when I predicted that game, Candace?
I mean, you felt like James Madison was a pretty good school, which they are.
I said the best team in the state of Virginia will win this game. My brother in Christ, they're not good. They're really bad. They've been through a lot, but at some point in time, we got to treat you like everybody else. We got to treat you like everybody else.
He stood up there like Superman, like he was ready to be treated like everybody else. So I don't know.
And so we're going to treat you like everybody else. And if anybody else this season came in and did some of the stuff that y'all did,
the shenanigans.
I'll tell you this much. Tony Elliott, and just like I said, Dave Dorn need to be thanking Mario Cristobal. So does Tony Elliott. Because if it wasn't for Mario Cristobal, Tony Elliott probably would have had the worst way to lose a game this season in terms of 2 back-to-back 15-yard penalties. When you had a drive to put the game away or at least tie it, I'm sorry, they got a drive to tie the game, take the momentum. You're at home, your crowd's feeling it. And what happened?
And you get a 2-point conversion? Ooh.
A 2-point conversion from 18 yards out. And what did y'all have to do? Oh, we can't just go to the sideline and act like we've been here before because we haven't. We haven't been here before. So we're going to act unruly, get ourselves a 15-yard penalty against one of the best returners in the nation, against one of the guys that has the highest yards per return average in America, and set them up for an easy field goal because that's who we are. We snatched defeat from the jaws of victory better than anybody else. F. Solid F.
There's definitely going to need to be some self-reflection in the offseason for the Virginia Cavaliers. There's still a lot to be said, though, for how this midseason is shaking out in the back half. Some teams might be back half teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some people might pick this hoe up. So we got to stay positive for teams who are below
expectations.
Okay.
Not
Help me, church. Help me, church.
I got you.
We got to help the people that ain't meeting expectations. We got to keep elevating the teams that are doing above and beyond more than we could ask for.
I'm going to tell it like it is and like it ain't. What it could be and what it can't. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I'm
all right, Reverend. All right, Reverend.
And I'm going to tell you like this. This is the middle of the season. Every team has the opportunity to skyrocket, and every team has the opportunity to plummet.
Send them a charge so we can go home.
There's not a single team on this list that y'all grade is secured and locked down, and there's nothing you can do to lose it. Louisville, keep doing what you're doing. Keep making Santana happy. But I'll tell you what. You decide to wet the bed in the second half of the season, you and your Boston College, you're trending in the right direction. Keep it up. You're doing
from dookie water to pissing down legs to whatever you just said. I'm a girl. I know you forget, but sometimes your analogies be just too much. Because if I start talking about tailbacks up here, everybody gonna get upset and nervous. You know,
what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Okay. If somebody
who's going with the flow, who's not, everybody getting uncomfortable.
If a team is bleeding out, let us know. Let us know. You know what I mean? If they need to stop it. They need to hemorrhage it. They need to stop it. They need
help the church.
Let us know.
Okay. Let's end it here. We've got a lot to cover as we get through the next couple of days. Week 7 predictions are upon us. If you have not yet voted, Kitten is the community page up.
They're going up tonight. They'll be up by 9 p.m. tonight. They will be up by 9 p.m. tonight. I apologize for getting them out late. Life has been lifing lately, but don't worry, we'll get them up for you. Everybody who's here, the tabs to vote for the games will be up.
You got a great FNF. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Wow. Look forward to seeing you next week. And by next week, I mean tomorrow. Come back soon. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.